Hello, everyone. Welcome back to day 15, Journey to Roach's Champion. It's been 2 weeks already, and I have only 3 more days until my tournament in Tunisia. So you guys should really make sure to follow those games, and I'm going to be talking about that. We're going to start with a Q&A, but obviously, the Bobby Fischer quote of the day is, "I don't remember one thing I learned in school." And it's actually funny because during his sophomore year of high school, Fischer just left and just to study chess. And to be honest, I don't really like the U.S. education system. I was fortunate in my last 2 years of high school to get a scholarship to a very prestigious private school, and even at a private school that I had a scholarship at, where the tuition was $53,000 a year. Obviously, I was not paying that. I was on a very very significant scholarship, but I didn't learn much, and I don't feel like what I learned was tailored to the things that would happen in my life. And I feel like a lot of my life experience is traveling, speaking to taxi drivers. I think speaking to taxi drivers, to be honest, has been the most enlightening experience of my life. So I honestly think that you guys should just travel and speak to taxi drivers, and that will just tell you everything you need to know. So people ask about my former coach, so I will talk. There's a few. Two that I mentioned is John Grief and Walter Brown. Unfortunately, both of them passed away. John Grief was one of my first coaches in America, and I learned how to play chess in the Netherlands. But a year after I learned, I moved back to America, where I started training with John Grief. He was a U.S. champion, an international master, and I lived in the Bay Area at the time, and he lived in Berkeley. Um, and I lived in a neighboring town. And I would go to his house, and we would just look at chess, and it was really really amazing experience. I was actually lucky to be able to get the coaching from him, because I used to go to play chess at this like cafe called the Blue Danube, and at this cafe it was all these 50, 60-year-old guys playing Blitz, and I would go there every single Wednesday and join them and just play Blitz for hours and hours and hours. I remember, I was eating chocolate cake and Blitz. I even have photos from this. And one of the guys who frequented this cafe was a very wealthy sort of, I don't know, entrepreneur or something. I don't know how he made his money, but he made it a thing to dress like a homeless person. So he was this very wealthy guy, but he dressed in the most ridiculous way to avoid, I guess, attention or being robbed. Maybe he was paranoid. And this guy actually paid for a large majority of my lessons with John Grief. And those lessons, for not only did I learn so much about chess, that was really the first moment that I, you know, was so passionate of the game, and Grief's passion was just contagious. And then later on, I started, and unfortunately, he passed away. He was already sick when we started working together, and I even visited him in the hospital. It's very, very unfortunate that he passed away, and he's someone in memory I hold very dearly, and his credit towards inspiring this chess player is something that everyone should recognize. And then Walter Brown, um, I was working with as well. It was actually very unfortunate. I was the last person to play him in chess in Las Vegas, and about a week later, he unfortunately passed away in his sleep. But he was also, I remember we used to go to this sort of like country club that he had a lifetime membership to, because he won the U.S. Open, and they gave him a prize. It was a lifetime membership to the Clarenton or something. And we would go there. I'd go hang out by the pool, and then after we'd be done with the pool, we'd go and just play blitz and play chess for hours. And it was really, so I was very lucky at a young age to have such inspiration from really strong players. So that's I just saw that question. Another one is, what other books do you recommend? I don't know. It's hard to say. I think that, to be honest, once you're a stronger player, books can be very interesting. But I think that online, on YouTube, and chess.com, Lead Chess, you have so many resources for chess improvement. And I think that honestly, with anything that you do, just do what you enjoy. Don't do things that you don't enjoy. Um, and then someone says, someone shared a Spassky quote. I won't. I won't say that. Do you think that people starting chess relatively late, like in late teens, can't become gym well? I think it's definitely possible to become a grandmaster, but the main issue is that, let's say you start chess at 14, right? Let's say you're extremely talented, and like in the first 2 years, you get to a rating of 2300. Even then you're 16, right? It really depends on your financial situation. For example, if you have the luxury of saying, okay, I'm 14, but I'm from a well-off family who can support everything. I don't need to go to college. I can just go all in on chess. It's very possible. But Once you start including school and work and all these distractions, it would really take an extreme level of talent to overcome that, and a lot of luck as well. Um, and someone says, "What do you think? How much hard work is required to become more champ? What sacrifices needed, and how much you're doing? Please touch as well." I think that a lot of sacrifices are done. For example, I don't really have much of a social life. To be honest, I only leave my apartment really to go to the gym. Otherwise, I'm training the entire day, doing chess related things. So for me, that's not really a sacrifice. I love spending all my time on chess, and my exercise or what other things I do outside of chess are a part of that journey. Obviously, the YouTube stuff is not necessarily making me a better chess player, but obviously having all the fans and support behind me makes is good for me psychologically. The sponsors and money and invitations that could come from having more influence and fans could also help my chess. So I'm not like this chess purist. I'm willing to do things that are part of the journey, but I really don't get distracted or party or socialize too much. I don't really have like the typical friend group or this type of thing. All my friends are chess players who I discuss chess with, to be honest. Great video level goes early. Hope you become a champion. But I have a question. I'm 13 kids. Well, it depends what your rating is. If you're young and you have, for example, it depends what country you live in. For example, if you live in America and you live in New York, you live in the Bay Area, you're in a chess hub, or you can play all these tournaments nonstop, or maybe in Moscow or wherever you live. If you're in a chess hub and you can play consistent tournaments without having to spend money traveling and doing all this stuff, if you can, take a 20-minute train to a chess club where you can play 3 4 tournaments a week, obviously your chances are much better. So I think those are all the questions. Obviously, the German Masters is coming up in 2 days or 3 days. It's the 14th now, and then I'm traveling in 3 days to the German Masters. I fly the 17th. First round is the 18th, and I'm going to be making recaps after all the games, giving some short logs. We're going to be doing a hotel before and after tour as well, um, which is going to be really nice. And I think I will also tip the cleaning people whoever's doing that. We'll do a nice gesture to show my character development, I suppose. Um, yeah, I think people also were asking me like, with Gotham chess becoming a grandmaster. I talked about this. People seem quite interested in this topic. Obviously, people are asking me what sacrifices I need to make to become world champion, and I think that obviously, I believe in life everything is in your control. Obviously, there are things that are out of your control, but in terms of achieving the final goal, I believe that you're completely in control. So that's why I believe that overcoming any obstacles, right? It must be done. Um, so that, and so I hope you guys enjoyed this little update. Next in this video, we're going to be analyzing my games. Lastly, I'll just talk about my routine. So today, I woke up quite late, but basically what I did is I played a bunch of training games. Like I played blitz games against training partners, like very strong players, and then I analyze those games, and then I work on some openings within those games, and it's a whole process of becoming, familiarizing yourself. And I also have like people who work for me, like people who are preparing openings for me. So let's say I tell my second prepare this, then I look at it, we discuss, so that's sort of what I'm training. But obviously looking forward to Jerba. Really, really want to sort of recover after Tata Steel, and then obviously March, April, May, June, August is going to be an amazing string of tournaments, which I can't wait to document. I can't wait to crush, and I cannot wait for everything to come to fruition. So we're going to be showing some games from the late Title Tuesday. I've selected 4 positions. Each position is basically a puzzle. So this was the first game against Antipov. It was an absolutely insane game, and well, I don't really know how to describe it, but this is the first position, so you guys will take a few seconds. Obviously, I'm down a piece, but he's starting trying to attack. He's threatening rook h3 to win my queen, so there could be some counter attack. So the move is rook takes e6. The point being that after queen takes, you play pawn takes, and after king takes g6, you could take the queen, but now you win this back. So the really great intermezzo move is to go queen d2 check, forcing the king to h5, disconnecting the rooks, and now you take the queen, and there's no more checks. You win the game. Next, oh, I've just given it away. Okay, you guys can edit that out or edit that out quickly. So in this position, I had an absolutely crazy game against Benjamin Bach, and with 17 seconds on the clock, I missed the winning move. You guys can pause the video again and try to figure it out. Comment the answer. This is puzzle number 2. The best one was queen to d6. The point being that, let's say the king goes to g8. You have rook takes e8, taking the queen. The king goes up. You take, and if here you take, and if here you can take. So I missed that, unfortunately. Okay. Now, this was the next game against Sergei Zalko. This was a really critical moment. So I have the two bishops, but my king is, castle queenside. Maybe it could be weak. It's unclear what I'm gonna do, but I have some really nice tactics using this king. So again, you can pause the video if you want. Essentially, I had noticed that this knight could potentially lose, so I play c4. So first of all, obviously you have to take, because if you move the bishop, the queen, knight is hanging, so you take. And I take the pawn. Now I'm attacking the rook and the queen. And now I'm also covering this diagonal, so the king can't run away. So if I would be able to check on this diagonal, things would be quite. So he goes queen h2, trying to trade. Obviously, if I trade, this thought might work, but the king sort of runs away. However, as you notice, with the attack of the king, I play bishop g5 check. Giving up the bishop, the rook must block. Now I take, takes. And now I've won the exchange. If king takes, I take the rook. I'm just up the chain. So he tries to double attack. He has a double attack, but I give a check. Obviously, he can't go here because of check. So you have to go here. I give another check. Knight has to block. I simply move the bishop back. You can't take the rook because it's pinned. So we tried to go rook e5, activating. But now another tactic, rook takes d4. Pawn takes, rook takes e4. I'm up a clean piece. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns against 4 pawns. This is going to fall, and this is going to fall, and these pawns are going to be with queen. I'm going to win the game. So this was actually quite a well played game. Now this is another game. I was white. It's mate in 3. So obviously I built up quite a large attack. The king is quite weak. So I have to figure out a way. So the move I played is pawn to g3. Point being that if you take back, now the h4 square is freed, and the king is mated. The king goes here, this is checkmate. The king goes back, you give a check. Knight can only block, and I take. So I finished Tunnel Tuesday with 8.5. Both Tunnel Tuesdays with 8.5 and 11, about a half a point, 1 point out of first. This Tunnel Tuesday, the late one, I didn't lose a single game. I had 5 draws, so was it need to be more clutch and time pressure, but sometimes things just don't go your way. So thank you for watching day 15. Like, comment, and subscribe if you watched this far. I appreciate all that support, and can't wait for Jerba. And let's continue on this journey, guys.